The business partner that we have in place from a risk standpoint actually has to be a true extension of Journal Communications. And the company that we felt that would be able to fill that role for Journal was Hayes.
After going through the request for proposal process, one of the things that we learned was that Hayes had an absolutely stellar reputation out in the industry.
They give you personal service. We can pick up the phone, we can talk about any issue at any time and get a straight answer.
We gave Hayes the business on November 7th, and they started working immediately, right away. And they weren't getting paid up until January 1st, but they jumped right in.
The resources that they were able to bring to Journal with those individuals, we felt a level of comfort that was really the deciding factor in us making the decision to move to Hayes.
Successful businesses are based on relationships. You have to be very selective to make sure you're dealing with the right people, the right firms to move your business forward. In the case of Hayes, we know we're dealing with the right firm. There's no question in our minds.
If someone does ask me how I've liked working with Hayes, I tell them exactly how great they've been and how especially knowledgeable they are with respect to the other insurance carriers that are out there.
The account team has been amazingly stable and delightfully stable. Our account manager, Kevin Mackay, he's been there since day one. And from a risk management standpoint, that stability, that continuity and consistency in leadership, and then the team that's underneath Kevin makes our life that much easier.
The key to the relationship is that they take the worry off our shoulders. We don't worry about our insurance because we know that Hayes is watching out for us.
They look over the horizon. Kevin or Dan Sapiro will call us well in advance of a crisis occurring and saying, hey, we see storm clouds on the horizon, get ready, here's what we're going to do, here's what we think you should be doing, so that we're proactive instead of reactive to situations.
They have absolutely delivered on what they said they were going to deliver.
We have a very unique program because we carry large self-insured retentions, and our worker comp is tied in with our other lines of coverage for auto and garage, and to be able to pull that all together so that as we move it from one carrier to another carrier and maintain the same consistency and continuity of coverages and deductibles and self-insured retentions and claims management services was extremely important, and we did it. Mike Sarner being available to us to answer the technical issues on how this thing was going to progress, having the executive risk team, Dan Kwasinski, and at that time it was Bobby, to help us with the underwriters to make sure we got the right resources aligned and got everybody proactive instead of reactive, made a huge difference in the program.
Everybody on the team seems to know what the other people know. There's good handoff of knowledge in the company.
We have a better handle on our claims process than what we've ever had previously within Journal Communications.
We rely on Hayes to be part of the team because Hayes has the historical knowledge, the background, they understand the history of what it took to get our program to where it is today. And we actually use Hayes as the mentoring trainers for our new risk analysts. Matter of fact, I just did performance reviews with my risk analysts on Friday, and one of the compliments that Hayes got from them was the fact that, hey, I can pick up the phone, I can call Gary Bevers, or I can call Brian Ballwig, who are the loss control consultants, or I can call Sandy, or I can call Kevin, who are on the property casualty side. And any question I've got, they take time to answer my questions. I don't think we'd be where we're at today with the kind of results that we're getting unless we had that kind of partnership.
when I come to work every day, the one aspect of my job that I need to be able to say that I've done is to protect the assets of the corporation. And because of what Hayes delivers to us with that contract review, I can safely say I've been able to accomplish that.
As far as new products in the market, Kevin and Sandy and Wendy Miller and Gene Flanagan, you know, the whole account team are constantly feeding us information as to what's going on in the marketplace, what's changing, not only in new lines of coverage like cybersecurity and cyber risk, but also in the existing lines. You know, what are the latest endorsements? What are the latest tweaks that we can make to the program? And always talking with us as to, okay, let's strategize how we can twist an underwriter's arm to get some better coverage. On the foreign side, we've used, Hayes is partnered with the Worldwide Broker Network, the WBN. Sandy Pelzik is the leadership within the Hayes organization for that. When we first went into the foreign market, made our first acquisition in the foreign market, we had Marsh and Aon on the account. When we asked them to give us an analysis of what do we have out there, because we were in 7 different countries at that time, they couldn't tell us. And it was Hayes that brought the WBN on the phone Christmas Eve. We talked about what we needed done. We talked about what the details were. And they said, hey, within 90 days we will do this. We will go out there, we will analyze whatever you've got in every country. We'll give you a full listing of what the coverages are. We'll tell you what the premiums are. We'll tell you who the underwriters are. We'll give you all the information that you're looking for. And they actually did it within 60 days.
They understand that the nature of business is taking risks. We trade risk for reward on a regular basis. Now, we would like to minimize those risks. Some you can insure, some you can't. Some you minimize risks just by having good business practices. But where there's an opportunity on a cost-effective basis to minimize the risk, Hayes is there to help us.
They're negotiating on our behalf as if it were their own money and ensuring that we are getting the best possible deal for Journal Communications. Now, do they have to do that? Probably not. Would I know if they weren't doing it? Probably not. But they've been able to deliver that time after time after time.
With respect to fees, we created a broker service agreement with Hayes. Hayes has been always upfront, straightforward, perfectly transparent.
I would say to them that they really have to look very carefully at each of the firms. And in the case of Hayes, you're going to meet the people that you're going to be dealing with on a day-to-day basis. And that team has never changed. In 13 years, I'm dealing with the same team. Hayes has the most stable team of any of the firms in this region, and you have to put a lot of value on the stability.
They really care about their clients. They want the best for them. They want the best insurance program. They want to make sure that all the I's are dotted and T's are crossed. I know that sounds kind of lame, but with an insurance contract, it could make the difference between a claim being paid and a claim not being paid.
My recommendation to anybody that calls me and says, hey, how is Hayes doing? Should we even consider Hayes? Is we've looked at the Marshes, and we've looked at the Willises, and we've looked at the Aons, and we've looked at the Locktons. And they call us once or twice a month, you know, trying to get our business. And the reality is that Hayes is the only brokerage firm that will give you one-on-one, customer-focused service, no matter what the needs are.
At the end of the day, you look at the resources that they have, and the resources, I think, in southeastern Wisconsin or in Wisconsin are second to none in comparison to the other brokers. But what it really comes down to is the relationship that you're able to develop with the individuals within the organization. And at the end of the day, because of those relationships, what you're able to do is you're able to, if there is an issue, you're able to draw upon those relationships and to and to produce whatever the outcome is that you're looking for.
Why did I decide to do this interview? The relationship we've had with Hayes over the last 12 years is something special. And for me to sit here and talk nice things about Hayes is not hard.